So we're going to talk about the lava again. Yeah, yesterday I had some issues with baking some textures. I don't know what the deal was. So I'll reload Blender and show you from the start how to bake some lava. Now you can go on Google or Bing and look for lava textures, but you're probably not going to find exactly what you're looking for. What I'd say to do is install this in the add-ons Blender Kit Online Asset Library. Once you install this, you'll have access to various objects, shapes, scenes, materials, HDRI lighting and brushes and stuff, different things. But go to materials and type in lava and do a search, and you'll see many of them that's already made. You can use these to make your own lavas. So I add a mesh plane and we'll turn on this texturing here, and we'll pick one of these. I don't know, let's say this one. Alright, so you want to use this. Now the way this material is made is procedural. It's got a lot of different factors that go into making it that are not really compatible with the game BeamNG. So what you have to do is bake the texture. So to bake, the first thing you have to do is turn the render engine on to cycles and tell it GPU compute. Well, you can use your CPU if you got a faster CPU, but also you don't necessarily need 4096 samples rendered. So I'll just do like 128. Alright, now once you turn on the cycles render engine, if you scroll down, you'll see bake. Now there's various bakes types. You can do like everything, which is kind of just like bake, which it bakes what it sees. You can do just the roughness, the emission, light emission, diffuse, glossy. But normally what I only bake is normals, and I'll bake diffuse. So to get to an easier view for baking, go to shading up here. If you don't see it, it's in here. There's this little plus thing, and it's under general. You can get to it that way too. What you'll see when this loads is you'll see all the procedural stuff that went into making the texture. You don't have to worry about any of that. You just move this out of the way, add a texture in image texture, and this is where you decide the resolution you want to render at. We'll just do 1024 by 1024, hit OK, and then back over here where you were setting your render engine up, go back down to bake and pick what you want to bake. We'll bake normals. Normals is what gives the texture the 3D look. So we'll bake. The baked progress is down here. Once it's finished, you'll see your baked texture here, and then you'll save it. That's the texture you can use in the game. See, like this is a really great normals map here. Really, really, really nice. So image, save as, and wherever you're going to put your lava. Let's just go to one of the levels that's already saved in the, say, BeamNG.25 or current version, whatever it is, levels. We'll go to Derby, and then the art folder. You see I already was playing around with this. Let me make a new one. I'll just call it Lava 3 or Lava 4, no matter, whatever you want to call it. And I'll just save this as like number 2. I usually do my normals number 2 because usually, you know, I just remember normals are number 2. That's just my way of remembering, but you can name it normals, lava normals, or whatever you want to name it. Now we're going to bake the diffuse lighting. And we don't need the direct and indirect lighting because the game's got lighting. We just need the color information. I did make a mistake though. I forgot to tell you all. When you bake normals, change the color space to non-color. Oops. Let's rebake. It does funny things to the normals and makes it look really bad if they're not baked with either linear or non-color. Which I may have could have just swapped that over and resaved it. I probably could have. I just didn't want to take any chance. I'm going to resave. See how lighter that is than that? So I'm going to override it. Now, baking diffuse. Only the color information. We'll overwrite this, but this time we're going to put this back to sRGB and we'll bake. I'll just do 2 of these for now. We'll save as, and in that same folder, we'll just call this one 1, or you can call it diffuse, whatever you want to call it. Now let's load them into the photo editor, because the next thing is important. You need a seamless tile so that if you're animating a texture, it doesn't look like it's got a seam in it. So we'll load in the 2 textures that we just saved. I'm in the wrong place. So we'll load these into here, drag them and drop them into here. And if you go up to filters, map, tile seamless, and hit OK. You can save that one. Just export as if you're using GIMP. I believe you can save as if you have Photoshop. Lava 3, so we'll just call this diffuse.dds. And we'll pick compression type BC1 since it is not transparent and it is not a normals map. It gets BC1. Generate bitmaps and export. And the same thing with this one. Map, tile seamless, OK, file, export as, and this will be called normals.dds, but you call it whatever, doesn't matter. Just that it's a DDS format, and change the compression type to BC5. All normals use BC5 compression type for the game. Anyway, for BeamNG, that's what you need to put. Generate bitmaps. Export. Yeah, all normals BC5, all transparencies are BC3, and all other maps are BC1 compression types. Now we can go back to this one, and we can go to filters, and we can enhance, use a high pass filter. Photoshop has this also. I'll usually change my standard division, or whatever that STD is, to 1, and then I'll increase the contrast to about 1.5, 1.6, and hit OK. This will generate a what's called like a detailed map. It's kind of like an outline. It shows like the outline's more better. Export as, and I'll just call this detail.dds. Now we could spend a long time making different kinds of maps because there's so many different maps, especially with PBR materials. There's so many different ones. But I don't want to waste all your time. I'll just get you started with the basics. Now let's go into Beam and let's load that level. We're going to make a decal. On the Derby map. So this is about animating textures, making a lava flow with trickery. More of a cosmetic effect. Let's go right over right over to this hill here. It's a good place for lava to come over the top of a hill. Go into our editor. Now we got to make that material. So I have to load my material editor up. Inspector, material editor. Alright, let's leave that here for now. So we're going to say new material, and over here, if you ever don't see something like a window pop up, it could be under another window. Let's call it lava 3. No matter what you call it, they're not going to map it to anything, you're just going to create. Now in here's your color map. You're going to go into your folder, your art folder, and into your lava flow 3 folder, or lava 3. So this is the diffuse, or otherly known as color map. And then you got your normal map, which is normals. I didn't do a specular or anything else. I did do the detail map though, is what we just made. Now at the bottom, this is important for a decal, you got additional info. The material tag that's here, the first one, well, one is 0. Put road and path with capital R, capital A, capital P. And then the next one, just put BeamNG, lowercase, all lowercase. Lighting, you can turn on glow and anisotropic filtering and save materials. Now when you go to decal and you create a decal, a lot of decals on here. You'll be able to go to the inspector window and find that texture. That's what adding RoadAndPath and BeamNG allowed it to create that texture. Now there are other textures that this is going over. You can lower the render priority for it to prioritize over the others. You can also go over objects. If its collision mesh is the same as the object. If it's a reduced poly count collision mesh, then the decal will go through the damn object in a lot of cases. Well, pretty much every case. To animate it, you also got the texture length if you need to increase or decrease the amount of stretch it has. Alright, back to the material editor, you go down to animate, and you'll do a scroll animation. Now this happens, don't ask me why, I have no idea. It'll just, whatever reason, it'll just show you a solid color, that's fine. Just go ahead and just add a couple of these, hit save level, reload the level, and it'll be on here when it's loaded. This will drive you crazy if you've never done it before and you're wondering what the hell, it ain't playing right, it ain't animating my texture. Alright, now we go back into here. And you'll see it works correctly. It's not moving. That's because when I animated it, I didn't save the damn texture. See? So what do I got to do? I got to reload again, but this time hit save. And save level. Well, I didn't have to hit save level. I did have to hit save texture. That was what I forgot to do. So they reload again. We're going to reload it. This time it'll work. I see some lava moving over there. It's moving sideways, though, not moving the right way. I guess that's some kind of, I don't know what the hell that is on the top. It's another decal or something. So, material editor, lava 3. Let's get it rolling the right way, which is not that way. It's this way. This is the way. You can do rotate. You can do whatever you want. You can do different kinds of you know, which rotate doesn't really look right for this. You would want to use the scroll. Wave, basically, that's what wave does. It kind of oscillates. But you wouldn't want to use that, or you wouldn't want to use that. And if you think about a decal, is you can make a decal go wherever you want it to make the lava flow. Oops. Yeah, you want to catch the tree on fire? Well, I had a particle emitter, or a few. Hit escape when you place an emitter, and you go to an inspector and change it. I don't remember the numbers for the fires. I think they're in the 20s, maybe. Well, maybe there would be some of that too. But I'm not sure which one is fire. Damn, I should know. I made enough things. Should remember. There we go. 29. 29, 28. '27. Alright, so velocity. Maybe hold shift down and move the arrow to make duplicates. And then after you make duplicates, you can change it. Different ones. Sometimes you get little sparks. Kind of look like they're shooting out where fires are, but not them kind of sparks. I'd have to edit that texture. I mean that material. I'm not fooling with that now. But that's what I'm saying you can do. You can do like stuff like that to your scene. But I think this is pretty much it for this. The good thing about decals, though, decals will follow the ground. So, if you got your ground and you're raising it or lowering it, your decal will go over it quite nicely. Just like lava would flow over these things and give them their unique look. do some pretty cool stuff with the decals. If you wanted the car to behave differently under the decals, then you'd have to change the ground model, which I'm not a fan of how they remove the ground models from the user thing. Which, let me make sure I'm not mistaken. In Terrain Painter, if you go into the material here, yeah, it's PBR 1.5 that they took the ground model out. So you'd have to go and manually change the ground model. This option is still in 1.0 terrain paints, where you just have 4 terrains, pictures for the terrains, whereas the PBR is saved in a different place. It's, art. That's not even in here. I mean, you'd have to convert the level to really mess with their damn. Now, I don't have a level converted in here yet. I don't have hardly anything in here now. I can show you in the other before. Well, let's see. I can show you like non-PBR where that would be. No, PBR, non-PBR, you already see it in there. It's the ones that are PBR converted. Art, terrains, and the material editor and the terrain painter. Why there's 2 in there, I don't know. It must have been my mistake. Alright, so this is the terrain painter for see, ground model, beach sand. You can change that. Whoop, that got me going. Phone call from me. Hello?